My name's Rick Wood, and I'm a photojournalist with the Milwaukee Sentinel. And I was in New York on the week of 9/11 to cover Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. And we just were wrapping it up, and at around 8:15 in the morning, I got a call from an editor saying, "Go to the World Trade Center, a plane is hit." I had no idea what was happening, but when my instincts kicked in, I grabbed my cameras, grabbed my lenses, cards, and left the hotel right away. It wasn't until I got off at 14th Street and emerged from the street with a cloud of smoke, an acrid smell of burning concrete, people just in awe and in fear and just stunned, that I understood what we were really facing.
I'm Jim Nelson of the Sentinel, and on September 11th I was in Washington, D.C. at a National Press Foundation fellowship. We saw the planes hit the World Trade Center at the conference on our overhead projector. When we realized Washington was involved, we headed for the door, left our computers there, grabbed a notebook, grabbed pens, and headed out to cover the story. I was headed to the Pentagon to see what I could see. And while in the mall, I came upon a family, tourists with their children, and as we were talking, a police officer on a bicycle came up and said, "Get the hell out of here. Another one's coming this way." And he pointed to the White House, which was a couple blocks away. And we learned later that was the plane that went down in Pennsylvania.
Police were keeping people back, but from where we stood we could see the South Tower smoldering. I heard a small gasp, and we looked and you could see the building slowly collapsing, almost pancaking down. At that point, you could see a big cloud of dust arising, and every 10 or 15 seconds the cloud was getting closer to us. I remember photographing at that point different people emerging from the dust and trying to get pictures of them. A poignant one I remember was Sergeant Gravelli, Vincent Gravelli from the New York Police Department, who was helping a little girl out of the cloud of dust and getting away from that. And that was one of the stories of so many heroes I saw during 9/11, people trying to make a difference. But he had been at Ground Zero during the collapse and had people dying right around him. So as a journalist, my role is just to record as much of this as I can and try to see how do you cover tragedy.
There's people all over the place, armed people with automatic weapons lining the roof of the White House. There's F-16s flying overhead, and I look to the left and there's the Pentagon with smoke billowing from it. And I'm at a payphone dictating a story to the newsroom. It was absolutely surreal. I was supposed to be at a conference, and here I am at the base of the Washington Monument while our country is under attack. It was an amazing scene that plays through my head all the time.
It was a shocking event to arrive within 300 yards of the World Trade Center and just see the building smoldering. I was far enough away that I saw debris falling, or what I thought was debris falling. When I blew those pictures up, I realized they were actually people jumping to their deaths. You saw what I thought a bird that flew by. In fact, I was convinced it was a bird, because I said you couldn't be 3 or 4 blocks away and land that far away. Police officers and police officials a year later saw the pictures and said, "We found people 4 and 5 blocks away. We think that's a person." I think one of the most poignant moments for me was photographing a security guard who worked at the World Trade Center, emerged from the cloud of dust and just overcome with emotion. And I was able to photograph that, and it made me realize that here's a country where we've been thought to believe that we're safe, and we have to realize that we're not safe.
The level of disruption and confusion and fear is something I'll never forget.
I managed to get one phone line out and started transmitting pictures right away, captions unseen, going back to the paper. I didn't know if they were receiving them or not. They saw the pictures coming in, and they knew they were from me, and they put them up on the front page. I think we did an incredible job for a Midwestern newspaper to cover that story.
It obviously wasn't a Milwaukee story. It was an America story. It was a world's story. And for us to have staff and enough people on the scene certainly helped our readers understand it better, I think.